Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video here from our beautiful new property. At the weekend I lifted something really heavy and managed to damage my arm, so I'm out for a couple of days. But what I thought would be a really cool video to make is to answer all of the questions that you guys are dying to know, but also show you some different areas of the property that I've not shown you yet. Okay, so the first question is, why don't I buy a leaf blower and a wood chipper? So this question came up a lot in the last video about getting a leaf blower, and I do actually have one. What I was trying to achieve in the last video while clearing out the drains was to get rid of the mud. The leaf blower won't get rid of anything that's really heavy like mud or silt, but obviously it will do a good job with the leaves. So I do have this leaf blower. I've not used it yet, but I will be getting to use it really soon because I need to clear the leaves off of the road. I'll see how powerful it is and then I'll decide whether it's big enough or whether I have to get the really big one that goes on your back. And the next part of that question was, I nearly walked directly into the spider web, was, do you have a chipper? I do have a chipper. As you can see, it's a very big, substantial chipper, and I haven't put it together yet. So one thing I need to do is find some time in the next couple of weeks and put this bad boy together and see how it works, but I'm pretty sure it's going to do a good job at chipping everything that we need to chip. So the wind's just picked up, and one of the things I love about this property is when the wind does pick up, all of the trees, they sway and you get the rustling of the leaves, and it's just really nice environment, really nice sounds. But the next question is, and I've had this question a lot, is about the old stone house behind me and what are we going to do with it. So we have so many different ideas for this old beautiful stone house. It's got hundreds of years of history behind it, and when we first bought this property I went straight inside this building to see what it was like, and it had 3 different stories, 3 different bedrooms, 2 different buildings that made up the house, and then we have the 2 big animal barns on the side of it. This was the original house for this property. It's got an electricity supply going to it, and I can't wait to renovate it because I think it could be an incredible place for you guys to come and stay and experience this beautiful property. So I'm just walking through one of our many fruit orchards, and you can see here how lush and green the grass is. Because we've had so much rain and then the sun comes out directly after, you can almost see this grass growing at a crazy rate. It's just so nice. And on this fruit orchard we've actually got apples, pears, oranges, lemons, and loads of different varieties of other fruits as well. So the next question is all about the wildlife, and obviously before the fire we had tons of wildlife on this property, and something really promising is that we have seen some of that wildlife starting to come back. The other day I saw the deer again, which was really exciting, and the fox has also been back. So hopefully over time, as stuff starts to grow back and the habitats re-establish themselves, more wildlife will come back into this area. So another question I've been getting a lot, and I mean a lot, probably hundreds of times, is how far is this new property away from our off-grid 5-acre farm? And the answer is it's about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So it's quite far, especially because I've been commuting here every single day to fix the damage from the fire and the flood. So I'm doing about 2 hours and 40 minutes of driving every single day, which is quite a lot, because when I get back to the off-grid property, that's where we're living and that's where the animals are living. It means that I have to feed all the animals and do all that stuff as well. But I'm very happy with the progress I'm getting on with here. So I'm just walking across the five-a-side football pitch, and it always just makes me laugh saying that. It's funny that we own a five-a-side football pitch, but it's not gonna stay a five-a-side football pitch, because the next question is, have you got room to plant a garden? And we think this football pitch area could be an incredible garden. There's plenty of space. We could have all of the raised beds that we want. We could also plant in the ground because the soil's really nice here, and it's protected from the wind, but it still gets plenty of sun. As you can see, I've got a lot of bushes to clear here on the property and below the belt. Thanks to Manscaped, with their new Platinum Package 4.0, I can keep my balls fresh, trimmed and smelling great using the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer, Manscaped body wash and the Crop Preserver ball deodorant. Manscaped have made it easier than ever to keep your nether regions in tip-top shape with the Peak Hygiene Plan, replenishing your favourite products and sending them straight to your door. And even better, if you head to manscaped.com today, they'll give you 20% off, plus free international shipping, plus 2 free gifts when you use the code INDIE20 at checkout. Don't forget to give your balls the TLC they deserve. So the next question is, if I was on the property when the fire came through, could I have maybe fought the fire myself and saved the place? And it's a valid question, but the answer is definitely a solid no, because the fire brigade, they had hundreds of different fire engines on this fire. It burnt 20,000 hectares. They had planes, they had helicopters, they had everything in their resources trying to get this fire under control. So there's nothing that I could have done on my own. That being said, in the future, I will make sure that I have a little mobile firefighting tank of my own, so maybe a couple of IBCs with a couple of 1,000 litres of water on a trailer that I can get to with a pump and put out any smaller fires if that was to happen here again. But something that big that's raging through and burning 20,000 hectares, you just don't have a chance. So the next question is, why is there no water in the lake? And basically, when we took ownership of this property, the previous owners, they wasn't actually living here, so they shut the water off into the lake. And how this system works is the lake is fed from a spring on the side of the mountain, so it's constantly flowing into the lake, and then there's a big overflow that overflows and then goes down the valley of our land and then ends up further down the property. So you want to make sure that everything's in place and in working order before I actually let the water into the lake. The previous owners actually said it takes about 2 months to fill all the way to the top, and because the water's flowing in and out, it means that it should rotate the water and keep it nice and clear, not stagnant. So I've got a lot of cleaning around the outside to do, because obviously there's burnt broom and other branches and stuff in there. So once it's all cleared, I've fixed the water system at the top of the mountain, I can start to let the water flow back into the lake. So I'm now on the island that's obviously in the middle of the lake, and the next question is, are we going to stock the lake full of fish? The answer is definitely yes, because it will be brilliant for the ecosystem. It'll keep the mozzies down and it's just generally good. Maybe we can do a bit of fishing. There's a really nice stone just in the distance over there, which I can imagine just pulling up a chair, sitting there and doing some fishing. Are we living full-time in the house that you see behind me? And the answer is no. We won't be living here for a little while yet, because there's still a lot to do to get this place up and running. Obviously at the moment we have no water and no electric. That's something that I'm working on right now. But the main reason is we've still got stuff to finish at the 5-acre off-grid property, and also our animals need infrastructure to be able to live comfortably here. So I've got my work cut out, because I've now got to build another chicken coop, I've got to build another goat barn, and we lost a lot of our fencing in the fire, so I've got to re-fence all of the areas where the animals are going to be living. So now I'm going to head up into the mountain, because I was exploring a couple of days ago and I actually found another stone building that I want to show you guys. I was really surprised, I didn't know it was on the property, but since we've had the fire it's obviously cleaned out certain areas, so I'm going to go up there and show you what it is. Okay, so the next question on the way to the new building is, can you see inside our new home? And yes, the next video, so make sure you have notifications on, because the next video I'm going to do a full tour of the inside of the house and I'm excited to show you guys around. So welcome to the new building that I found on our property. I literally did not know this existed before we bought it. So I'm now standing inside the stone building that I recently found, and it's actually really cool. There's some massive boulders in here and I'm not sure what this would have been used for, but this is the main part of the building, and there's actually another smaller stone building off of the side of it as well. The stonework is really nice in this building. You can see here there's a nice sized doorway, and I'm not sure if this would have actually been used as a doorway because it's been stoned up, so I'm not sure why it's been closed up, but it has. Maybe this was some sort of animal shelter back in the day, but just feels like it's a little bit elaborate to be an animal shelter, especially because over here on this side you can see, to me, what looks like some sort of fireplace maybe. If you know what this is, let me know in the comments, but there's a lower section and then a big slab of stone in the middle and then a higher section. So to me it looks like a fireplace, but I'm really not sure. So I've just noticed on the same side where the door opening is, there's a small turret style opening of a window, really thin one, that's just been closed up with a few stones, and on the floor there's lots of evidence of these old original clay tiles. So these are all individual, and how they were made back in the day is they would have used clay to make them, and then the shape and size actually depends on the person who made them, because I believe what they would do is they'd make them over their thigh. So depending on the size of the person making them depends on the tile, and it just shows what a strong, durable and solid structure this would have been. That they used proper roof tiles for the roof. They would have used eucalyptus from the forest to make the actual frame of the wooden roof. But at the moment it's just a ruin, but it's really nice and there's beautiful views off over the mountainside. So on the opposite wall to where the door and the window opening is, this wall's obviously collapsed, but what I've just noticed down here, there's a big old metal hinge which probably would have been the doorway through here from the track up. So that's really cool to see. I absolutely love this area where I'm sitting right now, in the forest with this valley going through the middle, and you can probably hear the stream trickling down behind me. So the next question is, what will we do with our 5-acre farm that we've been working on, and will we sell it? So the answer to that question is, we're definitely going to end up selling it. We just need to finish it first and then we will put it on the market. We've had it for 5 years, it's a long time, and we spent so much time there and really had a lot of fun on that property and learned a lot as well. So like I say, it will be on the market at some point when we've finished it. It will be sad to see it go, but we will need that money from the sale of that property to do everything that we want to do here. So the next question is, what's our priorities to get sorted first after the fire and the flooding? It's a pretty easy answer really, and the first one is to get the water all connected to the house. I'm in the middle of working on that right now, and also get the electricity connected, because there's lots of areas where the electric wires have been burnt, so I'm still waiting for an electrician to come take a look and hopefully start with the job, making sure everything's safe for when the electric is turned on and fully connected. I'm just walking through one of the forests that was absolutely decimated in the fire, and you can see all the way as far as your eye can see is just burnt trees. Most of these are eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is obviously very flammable, but it's also a really good building wood. So back in the day when they were building all of these stone houses, all of the roofs would have been made out of eucalyptus. It's completely free. If you have a forest, you can go and fell your own trees and use that to build your roof. And that is potentially what I'm thinking of doing for the old stone house at the bottom of the property. So I'm just walking further up the mountain. We're quite high up now. We're still quite a long way away from our boundary further up the mountain, but this is one of my favorite spots. It's so peaceful, surrounded by beautiful forest, and we have these magnificent huge boulders. And to give you a scale, I'll walk around. You can see I'm 6'3", and the size of some of these boulders are just ridiculous. Such a beautiful area. So this was actually one of Bee's favourite old dead trees, and as you can see, been obliterated by the fire. It still looks really cool. I really like it. It's such an interesting shape. An absolute massive trunk. I mean, if I wrap my hands around this, you can see the size of this trunk of the tree. Up here is just like, it's just a wonderland. It's so peaceful, it's so quiet. There's just these massive boulders, and it just feels really magical up here. Just the swaying leaves in the wind. It's stunning. What I find fascinating about this area is that we're currently a kilometre from the nearest road, but yet up here we have all of these beautiful ancient stone terraces. So I'm not sure back in the day, hundreds of years ago, whether they'd use these areas for grazing sheep or goats or even growing stuff. So this is probably one of my favourite views from the property. I mean, look at this. I'm standing on a boulder the size of a house, looking over these incredible mountains and surrounded by forest. So I'm a little bit out of breath and tired after walking all over the property, but there's still areas that I've not shown you guys that I will show you in the future. I hope you guys have enjoyed the answers to the questions that you asked me, and thank you so much to everyone who has supported us through this really tough time. I'll catch you on the next video.